Butler? How many of you remember Mrs. Butler?
Please tell your child.
Please tell your child. I have brought her back to this class, all right? So let's see what Mrs. Butler has more to tell us and why is she doing that? Why is she doing that? Let's dig a little deeper.
And who is Mrs. Butler?
Oh, look at Mohammed, all lost. No problem, Mohammed. You meet her in this class. All right. So this is Mr. Poet Alan Asberg, who's written the poem "Please, Mrs. Butler." All right. Before we start, I want you to do this short activity of match the following. All right. Then I'm going to read out the poem again for you. So how about this? What does the first picture indicate? What is it? What would be the answer? Rude.
Rude.
Okay. That's right. Second.
Too long.
Okay. To lock. Third.
Third is
Swallow.
to swallow.
Follow. All right. Fourth.
And
Fourth is best.
Best. All right. Fifth.
Fifth is
Rubber.
That's great. This.
And sixth is
Sixth is
hall.
All. And last.
And
work.
Work. This is my.
and you gave so
I
easy
have to
one.
work. All right. So this is a poem. I'm going to read it out loud. I want everybody to pay attention. All right. Please, Mrs. Butler. Please, Mrs. Butler. This boy Derek Drew keeps copying my work, miss. What shall I do? Go sit in the hall, dear. Go sit in the sink. Take your books on the roof, my lamp. Do whatever you think. Please, Mrs. Butler. This boy Derek Drew keeps taking my rubber, miss. What shall I do? Keep it in your hand, dear. Hide it up your vest. Swallow it if you like, my love. Do what you think is best. Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Derek Drew keeps calling me rude names, miss. What shall I do? Lock yourself up in the cupboard, dear. Run away to sea. Do whatever you can, my flower, but don't ask me. All right. Mrs. Butler and this boy Derek Drew. What are they doing to the author?
They are teasing him.
They are teasing him. All right. Specifically this boy Derek Drew, don't you think?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
And the teacher is telling the child to
Do what? Yes, Mohammed. Go ahead.
do suicide, ma'am.
Do suicide. Oh my God. The teacher's suggesting.
Ma'am, run away to sea, ma'am. Run away to sea,
Matlab, yeah, go have fun on the beach.
if he swallows his rubber, if it gets choked in his neck.
The teacher is teaching how to be a coward.
Wow. As always, the wise Juveria. Yes, the teacher is teaching the boy to, the poet or the narrator to be a coward. Okay, that's what Juveria thinks. Now, before we go ahead with this poem, how about y'all tell me, everybody, do you have your textbooks with you?
No,
I think you need your textbook with you for
No,
this.
ma'am.
Okay.
I'm out of Mumbai, ma'am. I'm not in my home.
Where are you?
Hubli, ma'am.
Huh?
Hubli.
Hubli.
Karnataka, ma'am.
Karnataka. Lovely. You having idli in Hubli?
No, yes, kabhi.
Okay, that was a bad joke. Anyway, all right.
Ma'am,
I want
which book, ma'am?
Yes, the yellow book, right up there. Yes, Abdullah, show it to everybody. Yeah, you need to get that book. Okay. Now, what I want you all to do is, I want you all to. What was that? Abdullah, please.
What number?
What number? What is your mobile number? Number 36.
7977556033.
Panna number 36. Textbooks, why? For your, yes, keep it ready, keep it out.
Page number?
Over to page number 36. Aisha, you're looking very pretty today. Aisha Aga.
Ma'am, page number?
36. Yes. Yes, Juveria. Page number 36.
Ma'am, this is a pottery fund.
Poetry fun. Yes, that's right. Please, Mrs. Butler. Yes, Aisha. Yeah, no problem. Take it. Okay. Now I'm going to share my screen. What you have to do is you have to look at the stanzas and you have to tell me, you have to arrange them. Okay. So I've jumbled the stanzas on my PowerPoint. You have to tell me which one is the first stanza and so on. Okay. Let's go. Come on, come on. Who shall tell me which is the first stanza? So all the purples are the boy and the reds are the teacher. Yes, Abdullah. Go ahead. Yeah.
It is this one, ma'am. Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Derek Drew keeps copying my work. Miss, what shall I do?
Okay, this one, Abdullah, it's number one.
Yes, ma'am. This one.
That's right. That's number one. Let's move on to the second one. Come on, who will tell me?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, can I tell the second one?
Yes,
Ma'am,
Anas,
ma'am.
go ahead.
Second one.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can I go?
Tell me.
Go and sit in the hall, dear. Go and sit in the sink. Take your books on the roof, my lamb. Do whatever you think. Besides the one, ma'am.
Okay.
Up this one, yes.
Yes, that's number two. Aisha Kazi, go ahead.
Ma'am, can I tell next?
We'll have Rushda and then yeah can answer. Yeah.
Please, Mrs. Butler, this boy Derek Duke keeps taking my rubber, miss. What shall I do?
That's number three. That's right. Okay, Rushda, go ahead.
Keep it in your hand, dear. Keep it, hide it up your vest. Swallow it if you like. My love, can do what you think is best.
Okay, that's number four. That's correct. Okay, Yahya, go ahead and then
The last one.
yes. Who is it? Who said one? Who wants to answer the last one?
Ma'am, me.
Okay. How about Umar? Umar, Hamza, Hamdan, Aisha Aga?
The last one.
No. Fifth one. Which is the fifth paragraph? Out of these two, which one do you think is the fifth one?
Go sit. Ma'am, the three one.
Ma'am, the please, Mrs. Butler, this boy.
Please, Mr. Butler.
Ma'am, on that one.
This? Calling me rude names, miss, what shall I do?
That is this one.
Okay, that's the fifth one. And yeah, go ahead. Sixth. Read it out.
Lock yourself in the cupboard, dear. Run away to sea. Do whatever you can, my flower, but don't ask me.
All right. Okay, so you have successfully arranged
Ma'am,
or
what a rude
numbered the
teacher.
paragraphs. Okay, it's a good teacher. Now let me ask you. So we are going to do this activity towards the end of the class. All right. But before we do the activity, let me understand whether you have understood or comprehended the poem. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Okay. Could you list the things that Derek Drew has done to the narrator?
Taken the rubber.
Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Come on. Let me see. Hamdan Fadlani, go ahead.
Taken the rubber.
He took the rubber. Okay.
He called rude names.
All rude names. Perfect.
He
The first stanza. I think we'll get answer in the first stanza. Hi, Ibrahim. How are you, boy? Not feeling well. He looks so down.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
Yes,
Oh my
ma'am.
God, your voice doesn't sound fine. Cold.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yes. So Fazlani has answered too. He said calling rude names and taking the eraser or the rubber. Okay. Abdullah, go ahead.
Copying my work.
Copying work. Okay. Yes. Those are three things that he's done. What do you think all these actions of Derek Drew are part of?
Bullying.
Bullying. Very good, Abdullah. What do you understand by the word bullying? Umar. Umar. Can you tell me what do you understand by the word bullying? Anas, Umar, Aisha Kazi, Aisha Aga, Hamza.
Bad words.
It is
Telling
bad words to someone.
Telling bad words to someone. Okay.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yes, Juveria, go ahead.
Aiming on one person, trying to tease it some other.
Right. Person, people are trying to tease you. Okay, Yahya, go ahead. Share your views about bullying.
Ma'am, targeting someone that doesn't means don't tease you, but you want to tease.
Right.
Intimidating
Targeting someone.
somebody. Intimidating.
Intimidating somebody. That's a quick Google search, and I like it.
Ma'am,
Okay.
I didn't do a quick Google search.
Ma'am, I didn't Google.
Okay. So intimidating is not always bad, all right? At times you are not trying to intimidate, but people do get intimidated just by
Ma'am,
your appearance or what is it. So
ma'am,
intimidating is a very wholesome word. But Anas, I'll come to you. But bullying, yeah, here we are talking about specific bullying, all right? And Yahya said targeting somebody. Okay, that's a perfect explanation one could give. Okay, targeting somebody for no good reason. Okay, you don't have a reason. Some that person who you are targeting has not done anything to you. All right, by you I don't mean y'all bully. No, I know y'all don't. All right. What I mean is I'm talking on a very generic level. Okay, yes, Anas.
ma'am, can I keep a phone like this because my tab charging is not there?
Hmm.
Well, only
Sure. Yes,
13%.
yes, 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 yes.
I have put
Okay,
in charging.
no problem, Anas. All right. So here we were talking about bullying. So who do you think is the bully in this poem?
Derek Jew.
Oh, Derek Drew. What suggestions does Mrs. Butler give for the problems?
Go
Come
to
on.
the sea.
Hamza, I want Hamza to answer.
Lock
Come on.
yourself in the cupboard.
Hush! Hamza, lock yourself in the cupboard. Oh my god. Okay, yes, that's one correct answer. Hamza,
Swallow.
huh?
Ma'am, sit in
Swallow
the.
the rubber. Yes. Oh my god, that's correct, Hamza. So Mrs. Butler is telling lock yourself in the cupboard, swallow the rubber. What else?
Go keep your books above the ceiling and sit in the sink.
Okay,
Ma'am, can I say? Go to
yes,
see.
yes.
Go and
Juveria.
sit in the hall. Go and sit in the sink. Take your book to the roof. The, keep it in your hand. Hide it in your vest. Swallow it if you like.
Hmm,
And lock yourself in a cupboard. Run away to sea. Ma'am,
that's right.
ma'am,
Yes, Mama.
Ali Mudkar would swallow it.
Oh, he totally would. He would be like, Mrs. Butler, give more. Whatever you have, give your chalk and duster also. All right. Do you think that Mrs. Butler is serious while giving suggestions?
No.
Why?
Yes, ma'am.
Because those suggestions.
Yes.
Because
Okay,
those
okay, Hamza
suggestions
says
were
yes.
stupid.
Hamza says yes. Hamza, why do you think she's serious while giving these suggestions? Do you find these suggestions practical?
Ma'am, because those suggestions were irrelevant.
Her suggestions were irrelevant. Okay.
Ma'am, because in ma'am, page number 36, her face is very serious. That means she's serious about it. But the boy does not want to do it.
But Hamza, wouldn't it be dangerous to, like, if the teacher is seriously giving you these suggestions, don't you think there's something wrong with the teacher?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
I'm
ma'am,
gonna
we need
visit
to admit
her.
her in the mental hospital.
Oh my god, look at that. Mental health right there. Okay, Hamdan Fazlani, admitting teachers in mental hospitals. Wow. If
What
it
a
is Mrs. Butler. Yeah.
skip class. Ma'am, what a great idea to skip class. We'll do this sometime.
Great idea to skip class. Oh my god, that's some dangerous teacher right there. No, no, no. Okay, why do you think how many okay, Hamza thinks she's serious. How many of y'all disagree?
What?
Or you have a different opinion? Aisha
Ma'am,
Kazi, go ahead.
ma'am, she's not serious.
Aisha Kazi, we'll hear it from Aisha Kazi. Go ahead.
She does not want to start a fight between Derek Drew and the boy. So
gave those silly suggestions to um, stop them, like not complaining.
Okay, so she doesn't want this issue to become anything major or big. That is one reason that Aisha has given. I have two questions based on that, Aisha. Okay, but we'll hear it from other people as well who are raising their hands. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. She's not serious because um, she was not in the mood. She was in angry mood. So she tell like.
All right, okay. Juveria, how about you? So Yaya says the teacher was not in the mood to deal with these children. Therefore, she gave these silly suggestions. Yes, Juveria.
I think the child directive, she likes the boy more than this boy who is complaining.
Wow,
So
that's
she's
one
only
amazing perspective. Yes, go
so
ahead.
she's only supporting the directory and telling silly things to the other boy, so that he gets fed up of the teacher and he does not complain.
Okay, so your Juveria is stating that Derek Drew is the teacher's bias. Okay, he's like a teacher's pet. The teacher likes him so much that she refuses to listen anything against Derek Drew, and she is giving the narrator different silly suggestions that one cannot follow. Abdullah.
Ma'am,
Mm.
the teacher is not serious because she has never been in this kind she
In this
have
kind of
never
situation,
been bullied before. That's why she doesn't understand that bully ka that.
right. What the narrator is actually feeling and going through. All right. So I see wonderful opinions and perspectives coming from your side. Okay, and it's beautiful. Trust me, because I had not thought in that way, in that manner. Aisha Kazi said that the teacher is giving silly suggestions is because what was the reason, Aisha Kazi? I'm so sorry. There were so many beautiful opinions.
To keep the boy stop the boy
To
from
not,
complaining.
yes, to stop the boy from complaining. Okay, Yaya said to not make it a major issue, and Yaya right now is hanging upside down like Spider-Man. All right. And then we have Juveria saying that the teacher actually, she might actually like this boy Derek Drew, and thus she's taking his side and she's not listening to the narrator. And Abdullah is like, the teacher must have not experienced or undergone bullying herself, therefore she doesn't know what the person is feeling. She is not able to empathize with the child who is being bullied.
Maybe she was a bully when she was small. Yeah, ma'am. That's why her name
There
is
you
Mr. Butler.
are. Another opinion and beautiful and wonderful at its best. Yes, Hamdan Fazlani. Yeah. Okay, so so he said that maybe she was the one who was bullied and therefore she's not able to understand. Okay, these are lovely opinions. Amazing, lovely. Trust me. My question to you. Remember, I had two questions. Okay, so my first question to you is, um, if you were Mrs. Butler, if you were Mrs. Butler, and say, for example, uh, the narrator comes up to you and says, Derek Drew is copying my work, how would have been your reaction?
Maybe she also copied copied someone's work once. Maybe she also took
No,
someone.
no, no. Listen to my question carefully. Listen
She
to my.
called someone rude names before.
Yes,
So she is
listen.
supporting the one who does what she does.
Okay. I heard you, now you hear me. My question is, imagine yourselves to be Mrs. Butler. Okay? And if the narrator walks up to you and tells you that Derek Drew is copying my work, what would be your response? Think about it. Think.
Why are you asking me? Just do whatever you think.
Ma'am, I will give him one chance. If he does it again, I'm going to call his
One
parents.
minute, 1 minute. Hamdan Fazlani, we'll listen to Mohammed Mohammadi. Yes, Mohammed.
Ma'am, first I will give him one chance. If he does it again, then I will call his parents and expel him from the school.
Oh my God, Mr. Butler is so.
Ma'am, I
Yes.
will do a simple thing. I will call the boy and sit on the teacher beside the teacher, and then he will do his work alone. Nobody will be there
So
to
you're gonna
copy.
make Derek Drew sit on the at the teacher's table. Okay, Juveria, go ahead.
I'm going to make these two boys sit like the boy separate from all the classmates, like at the front of the seat.
Okay,
Ma'am,
you are
if
gonna
he
change the seats.
Oh, ma'am,
Padmani?
Ma'am, if he would go limit, he would do everything, call rude names. If he would
No, no, no. We are talking about copying. Okay, we just want answer for copying
copy,
right now.
if he would copy, I will shout at him, call his parents, and complain. And if he does more and more and more and more copying, then I would give him detention
Okay, that's
for
some
one whole week.
strict. Oh
then
my God.
if he's copying
Aisha
it, then
Aga
he
wanted to
will
answer. Then we move on to Umar.
And
Aisha
when he
Aga, I'll
comes
take your
back from
response.
detention, I will not let him complete the
copy, then
work
I
and
will
kill
make
them.
him
Oh,
sit on the
Fazlane. Perfect. Yes.
And if he copies, then I will make him sit next to the teacher.
Okay, you will make him sit next to the teacher. Umar, go ahead. Hmm.
I will take him and put him in the corner bench in front of me, and then if he copies, I will tell him to. I will tell him. I will take him to the principal.
Okay. Abdullah, let me change the question for you a little. Okay? Just let me change.
And Umar is like Trumpa ma'am.
Eh? Why? Take to the principal again.
Trumpa ma'am, what time ma'am? Ma'am, I just forgot about small paper. Ma'am, she took me to principal. Ma'am.
Oh my God. It's okay. Let bygones be bygones, Mohammed. Okay? Let's get over it. Abdullah, let me change a question or let me add on to the question a little more. Um, Imagine you are Mrs. Butler and 10 students like the narrator walk up to you complaining about other different people, that oh she's copying my work, oh she's copying my work. Okay, not only Derek Drew, so there's not one narrator and one Derek Drew, there are 10 and they walk
Ma'am,
up to
it
you.
is
What
quarantine time. They are all sitting apart, like not
what
close, so
would
they
you
can't.
do?
Ma'am,
Abdullah, yes,
ma'am, it's called.
I heard you, Juveria. So we are imagining the non-quarantine time. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I will help the narrators, and then I will make them sit with the same person only and make them strong to fight against them. Ma'am, I would give
How? I
Mrs.
mean,
Butler
explain
this
a little
Hershey's
more.
chocolate to tell
Keep
her
it down.
that
Keep it down. If you
chocolate
don't want your stomach to ache, you keep it down. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I would give Mrs. Butler this Hershey's blueberry chocolate to shout at Derek Drew.
Oh my God. Look at him.
Ma'am, I would put a wall after every child.
Wall. When somebody says a wall, I can only imagine Trump. He loves building walls. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, I will make him sit there only. So if the person again copies and copies, then I will help a little bit, but I will not help him. So I
Help him
will.
copy?
If the person copies him, I will help him a little bit, but I will let him be stronger on his own. So he is getting copied every day and every day. So he will try to keep it away from him. So he will be getting. So
So
he will.
basically, you let the child figure out how to stop other people from copying his work.
Yes.
Ma'am, I will go to the boy, take his ear, make him sit in the
Oh, no, no, no,
and
no. We
say
cannot do that. Okay.
मैम उसको मुर्गा बनाएंगे.
Oh my God. Now, could you list the repeated lines in the poem?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, Mrs. Butler.
Miss
This boy Derek Drew.
Drew.
Yes, yes.
And keeps, ma'am, keeps. Ma'am, keeps.
Lines, lines. I want lines. I don't want words.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so
Ma'am,
please,
after
Mrs.
Derek
Butler is one line. Very good. This boy, Derek
Ma'am,
Drew.
do
Yes.
whatever you think.
Okay. Do whatever you think has been repeated. No problem, Anas. Okay. Why do you think the poet has chosen to repeat these lines? Any idea why the poet is repeating the line?
Make
Please,
it
Mrs.
to
Butler.
make it rhyme.
To make it rhyme. Okay, very good, Javeria. That's one answer. To make it rhyme. That's it. Only to make it rhyme.
Because
No, miss.
Ma'am, because
Then to make
again and again the boy is complaining, so again and again the same lines repeat, and then the reason come.
Very good. Very good. That's nice. Yes, Aisha Ghazi. That's a
ma'am
beautiful answer.
to specify who is if it
To show
is
the impact, to specify. Okay, so this boy is constantly complaining about only Derek Drew to his teacher. All right, so you come to know when I ask you the question, who's the bully, so you know Derek Drew is the bully. All right, he's not just randomly naming, he's specific about. So it's been repeated to show that this boy Derek Drew is definitely the troublemaker of the class. All right, so it has an impact, it holds significance. All right, now how many of you, if I ask you a question, what are poetries or what are poems, what do you know? Do you know, how will you put it in your own words? What are poems, what are poetries? What is the difference between a story or a prose?
Rhyming words are there in poetries.
Okay, rhyming words are there in poetries. How is it different from the story? How
ma'am
poetry?
stories are big and poetries are small.
Okay, stories are big and
Ma'am, things
poetries
are
are
not
small.
said clearly in a poem. You have to make the meaning out.
Very good. Things are not laid down in a simple language in the poetry. You have to understand the meaning. You have to think about it.
Ma'am, the
Okay.
poetries are rhyming.
Yes,
Poems are rhyming. Yes, Mohammed Babadi.
ma'am. I also wanted to tell what Umar tell. But
Okay, it's okay. They have rhymes. Okay, there are certain poems who do not have rhymes actually. But yeah,
maximum of them have rhyme.
maximum yes. Majority of them do have rhyming words. Okay. What do poetries express that is different from the stories?
Ma'am, Rushda gave a Googled answer.
Rujna answered something.
Yeah, I did not give a Google answer.
Form
I
the word
promise.
put in a harmonic way. Yes, it is true in a way.
Ma'am, let me start. Googled answer. Google.
Okay. You tell
I
me,
did
what
not.
do poems,
I'm not.
what do
Did not.
poetries express and stories do not? Or stories also do, but in a very different way.
Stories are exciting and adventurous sometimes, and they are funny also.
They have
But
plots. Yes, okay.
yeah, but poems are like repeated words, and sometimes they have even no meaning.
Okay. They do not. There are
Sometimes they
some.
have.
Yeah, only the nonsense poem doesn't have any meaning.
Ma'am,
Heard of
ma'am,
the nonsense poem?
stories,
Yeah.
ma'am, stories explains everything, and poet also explains everything, but we have to track it.
Yes, you have to analyze, you have to understand, you have to comprehend. Yes, Rushda, go ahead.
There are like different types of poems, different way you can put it, but in a story, there's just one specific way, and
Right. So
poems
story,
they're
if
like
yeah, sorry.
and stories they're and poems are like they're fixed on one topic, but stories they're like basically everything.
Different genre. That's
Yeah.
what you mean. Yeah. Okay. So you see, stories are very descriptive. You know, they would describe the setting, the plot, and the character, and a lot of description given. You don't really have to use your head unless it's a thriller genre or a mystery. Okay. So unless it's that, you merely read the story and you get to know what's happening. It is fun that way. Poems help you connect with emotions, with feelings. Okay, poems are a means used for expression. Okay, things that you cannot actually talk to somebody, you can write it. You can put it. You can pour your heart in the poetry. Yes, Abdullah.
But I don't think that point is true that in stories we have to describe, because in stories we don't have to describe a lot. We have to keep it on the reader's imagination also.
Those are, again, it comes to the different genre. Okay, but then in order to ignite the imagination of the reader, you will have to describe something. Okay, a certain part of the story needs to
But
be
not
described.
a lot, ma'am. Just a
Yeah, not a
little.
lot. Obviously, not a lot, because then you have to leave it. But then you need to give a 20% for the reader to imagine 80%. And usually stories don't do that. They describe 80% and they leave it up to the reader's imagination 20%. Okay, so that's how it happens. Poetries also use different words rich in literature. Okay, literally words like the rhyming words, or they would make a sentence that has a repeated sound. Okay, so that, like the word, like in this sentence, this boy Derek Drew. You see the name Derek Drew? What is it? Which sound is it removing again and again? Duh, duh. Derek Drew. Okay, the name could have been anything. Okay, the shy Sean. These are just examples. Okay, so poets do make use of these words in order to beautify what they have written. So poetry is a way of expressing your feelings, things which you cannot tell the person, or you cannot explain it to anybody. You put it down in the poetry. Have you guys ever tried writing a poem?
Ma'am,
Anybody?
we did haiku.
Haiku is a different type of poem. I'm talking about, okay, haiku is good. Yes, I know. You all did haiku. It was fun. I read Umar
What
Sharif's
did you say? Have you ever?
written a poem.
Never, ever, ever.
Never, ever.
Ma'am, when I was small, sometime I don't remember, but I wrote.
Even I've written. Yeah. I don't write usually poetry. Just once. I did. Okay. Do we have? Yeah. All right. What do you think about the last line? Don't ask me.
Ma'am, the Mrs. Butler is very irritated for what this boy is telling Baba, complaining. That's why.
Exactly. So somebody understands, somebody is empathizing with Mrs. Butler over here, and this is what I like about. Okay, that not only are we on the side of the narrator, but we also are trying to understand what Mrs. Butler must be feeling, what her situation. We are trying to put ourselves in her shoes and understand that, okay, maybe she has a class of these complaint boxes. Her class is filled with these children who time and again come and complain. So Mrs. Butler is giving these silly suggestions, or rather, Mrs. Butler is being very sarcastic with her suggestions. Okay, she doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean it. But then she also wants the child to solve the things on their own. Okay, therefore, sarcasm, yes. So if I give you silly suggestions, like for example, you ask me, I tell you, okay, go grab a pen or a pencil and grab a paper. We are going to write something. Okay, if I tell you, and some kid comes up to me and says, ma'am, is it okay if I write with a felt pen? And if I say, no, no, do one thing, write with the finger. What did I do? Do I really mean you have to write with your finger?
Being
No.
sarcastic.
Yes, I'm being sarcastic because I want the
Ma'am,
child to figure out. Yes,
Every time.
ma'am, I think we have a bandit in a class.
we have a bandit. Yes, we
Put
have
her in the
Zorro.
waiting room. Put her in the waiting room.
Zorro. That's Zorro. Yes, Hamdan Fazlani, you were saying something.
My mom is the sarcasm master.
Yes. Oh my God.
And
Then,
my father is the sarcasm master's master.
oh ho ho ho. Then I think I'll I'll have a good company with your parents. Like I'll have a good time because I cannot live without sarcasm. Constantly. I don't know. I haven't written, but I read a lot.
Ma'am, sarcasm is the worst form of humor, especially for my parents.
Keep quiet. It's not worse. It's the awesomest form of humor you could ever find. Okay. All right. So now let's do this activity. Do we have time? Yes, we do. We have 7 minutes. Let's do this activity and let's make it fun. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the class. So we have 6 paragraphs. Remember? So I'm going to divide the class. The, few will be Mrs. Butler, and few are going to be the kid. All right. Now let's have a full-fledged conversation as kids and as Mrs. Butlers. Okay. So anybody wanting to volunteer? I want 3 Mrs. Butlers. Come on. Abdullah Patel, Mrs. Butler. Okay. Yaya Rizwani, Mrs. Butler.
Yeah, you be bacha, you be the narrator.
No. Let him be Mrs. Butler.
Ma'am,
Okay. And
Anas.
Aisha Aga. All right. Aisha Aga is Mrs. Butler. Okay, so we have three Mrs. Butler. Now I want three narrators. Come on. Okay, Rushda, go ahead. Very good. Rushda narrator, Juveria, Aisha Kazi. Okay.
Ma'am, me.
All right. Anas, you want to be Anas? I have a role for you. Okay. Others who are remaining, Hamdan, Anas, Umar, Hamza, Muhammad. So I have something for you. Now, what you have to do is let's open the textbook. Okay, everybody, or rather, I'll just put that. I'll put my slide.
And page number.
Page number 36. Am I right?
And page number 7977556033.
Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Too much. Okay, let's go ahead with the first paragraph. Okay, the kid. I want the first kid. Who wants to go? The kid first. Wait. We had.
Ma'am, I will go Miss Butler last.
Yeah. Okay. So you be the first.
And I am the-
Second paragraph, Mrs.
Because I
Butler.
want to
Oh,
complete
I
Can I
will
be
be
the
the
first?
last, ma'am. I will be the last.
Okay.
Let
Rujda.
me start
All
that.
right. Rujda will do the first stanza as a kid. Okay. And I want. Who will go? Mrs. Butler. Second stanza, Mrs. Butler. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. So we have Rujda and Yahya. All right.
I'm the last children.
So Rujda, what you have to do is
Ma'am, I'm the eraser one.
keeps copying my work. All right. So Derek Drew is copying your work. That's your situation. You have to approach
I'm the
Mrs.
road
Butler and put forward this complaint that you have that Derek Drew is copying your work. How would you put it? And Mrs. Butler, you have to keep your perspective. You will not give answers that is written in the textbook. Okay? Yeah. You have to imagine yourself to be the real Mrs. Butler and you have to give a sensible answer. You have to give me a point of view, a perspective of how Mrs. Butler as a teacher should solve this problem that has come in front of her. Okay, go ahead, Rujda.
So I'm supposed to phrase that he keeps copying my
The
work.
problem, you have to give your Mrs. Butler a problem.
Okay.
You can take it from the textbook or you can come up with a new problem that are faced in the classrooms. You know, a child would face in a classroom. You can pose a new problem and Mrs. Butler has to solve it, not give sarcastic answers, rather solve it. Come on,
And
this is
do
fun.
we have to give it in stanzas?
No. Just go ahead.
Okay. Um.
Think about it. Okay, who wants to be the second child? Come on. Juveria. Okay.
Me.
And
Yes.
Me.
One
all
of
right.
the child.
Me.
Yeah, we'll come to you. So you know,
Me.
you want to be the child, Muhammad Mamadi, or you want to become Mrs. Butler? I can't hear you. Muhammad Mamadi. Who wants to be Juveria's Mrs. Butler?
Mummy.
Okay, Muhammad Mamadi. Juveria is the child and Muhammad Mamadi is Mrs. Butler. All right. Juveria, you have to approach him with a problem. Okay, it can be from the textbook, it cannot be from the textbook. And Muhammad Mamadi has to be Mr. Butler and he has to solve your problem. Real hand problem, okay, not sarcastic answer. Next, let's go. Who's the third child? Aisha Kazi. You're the third child. Come up, think of a problem. Okay, who wants to be her Mrs. Butler? Okay, Abdullah Patel. Let's go. So, Abdullah Patel, you can take. I'm repeating it again and again. I know. Come up with a problem that are faced in the classroom as a child. You've been in a physical classroom. You know as children what problems you'll face. Pose that problem in front of your Mrs. Butlers and let's see how they solve it and what they come up with. Okay, Hamdan Fazlani, you want to be a child or Mrs. Butler?
Child.
Child. Omar?
Mrs. Butler.
Omar, you want to be a child or Mrs. Butler? Child. So Omar, you be the child. Okay, Hamdan Fazlani is Omar's Mrs. Butler. Okay. Anybody else who doesn't have a teacher or a teacher who doesn't have a child? Hamza and Anas?
Yes, ma'am. What would I be?
You want to be Mrs. Butler or child?
Ma'am, I want to be Mrs.
Butler.
Butler.
Both of you all want to be Mrs. Butler? Fine, I'll be your child. Okay, let's start with Rushda. Rushda, are you prepared?
Yes.
Let's go. Let's see what's the problem.
Ma'am, what am I?
Mrs.
I did it
Butler.
in stanza form.
Okay, go ahead.
This kid is calling me useless. Come on, Mr. Butler. This kid is merciless.
Okay, so she says this kid is, please, Mrs. Butler, this kid is calling me useless. What shall I do?
Just
Did I miss
ignore
out to something? Krishna, was there anything else apart from useless? I mean,
No, I just said he was merciless and useless.
okay, he called, so this kid called Krishna merciless and grew useless. Yeah. Mrs. Butler.
just ignore him, go away from him, and never listen to him.
Ignore him, go away from him, and do not listen to him. That's for the narrator. Okay, that's for the child. What about the kid who's troubling? How would you deal with that child, Mrs. Butler? So you cannot just listen to one side of the story, right? Time's up. Too bad. Okay, we'll stop here. No problem. Okay, listen. Think of good complaints, and you as Mrs. Butlers, you all need to be prepared with a good response. Okay, so we'll continue this. No, we can't continue. It's after a week on Monday now. All right. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
No.
Ma'am.